Hey guys, welcome to another lore video. Why did I say another? Will there be more coming? I'm not sure. But anyway, I'll explain the lore of this zombie body cam that actually a lot of people may not know about or may found it out. So there's radios hidden around, like these for example. I will explain to them because I listened to most of them. So you can listen to this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues, distinguished guests, what a glorious day for science, for humanity, and for each and every one of us present here today. It is with immense joy and a deep sense of honor that we open the doors of this place, dedicated to healing and the rebirth of the human spirit. This asylum is not merely a medical institution, it is a sanctuary, an oasis where those who suffer may find refuge, hope, and above all, the chance to become new men and women. What we offer here is much more than treatment. It is a metamorphosis, a rebirth. Every patient that walks through these doors, I guarantee, will be transformed, restored, and stronger than ever before. We do not simply heal. We give back to these men and women what life has taken from them. And it is with immense pride that I declare, here, everyone will find a new life. Ladies and gentlemen, today marks the beginning of a new era. Let us be witnesses of this revolution, the architects of the world where healing the mind is no longer a dream but a tangible reality.
So I'll explain the lore right now. I listened to most of the radios if you'll find them on around the map. So basically, it all started when you can hear from the beginning from the doctor itself that he said, "Welcome to the asylum." So this is a mental asylum that is or was running until a certain point of time. Well, from the details we can tell, this asylum was taking place in the mid 60s during the Cold War. But I'm assuming because of like the texture, the vinyl records, it seems like an old asylum that was taken back in like the Cold War era. As you know, Cold War era was like a very huge point in our history in the sense of developing weapons and developing weird ways to assassinate, to spy, and during World War II as well, we found like their superhuman. That was scary, but anyway, there was like superhuman stuff invented, like the methamphetamine that Germany invented and given to the soldiers, and so on. So the point is, or the point I'm trying to make is very simple. Uh, we know this place, like this entire place, is taken during the Cold War era. Especially like this place was built, I'm assuming in like the 50s or 40s, where they started conducting experiments on these type of individuals, whether we are assuming they're zombies, but they're actually not zombies. I'm very sure, or I'm certain that these are humans who are been tested, especially insane. If you go look at old history books, you know that mentally insane people are mostly being tested through weapons, anything to be honest, to make sure that what we have as a superhuman is validated. Because that was an unethical way to test back then. Like, it's so weird to say that, but like, if you look at the models itself, you know it's actually just ill patient who they were testing it on just to make sure everything was like working perfectly and spot on. So how? Okay, never mind. That shit scared me. So what do you mean and how they tested and why did we think we were zombies? Well, there's multiple vinyl records like these. Sure, hiding dark meaning to
They
this
say
place.
it's the only solution, that the deep sleep will heal me, free me from these nightmares, from the voices in my head that won't stop whispering. But I can't shake the feeling that something is wrong, like this isn't natural. I've seen those who've already gone through it. They've been asleep for days, even weeks, but sometimes I hear them murmur. Dr. Morrow is confident, but something it's too quiet here, too empty. What if I never wake up? What if I end up stuck like them between life and I don't know what? I'm scared. In my own mind.
So let me explain this entire scenario here so you guys can get the clear picture and the broad picture of what I'm trying to explain here. But let me find this generator right here. Where's this gen? Is it right here? There's a random weapon crate. So yeah, let me just elaborate on what's going on here so you guys get the clear broad picture of what is going on. So these are mentally ill patients that are being tested at from the facility itself. They're using kind of syrup to test on like soldiers to make sure that the soldiers are superhuman, which turned out to be a failed experiment, which led to these mentally ill patients to have a cannabinoid attack or something like that. It's like a green syrup thing, according to what I heard from the lore itself. And it's very confusing to explain it, but like in short summary, because this is a huge like listening log that I'm trying to summarize to you guys. They were trying to do experiments on these, and it's very awkward to say like why and how come. Like this is one of the professor's room where they were doing the experiments just to make sure everything is like running perfectly, thus creating this lore and a greedy implication on how dirty the people are. So what happened is a lot of people were coming to this haunted insane asylum, like kids, Jesus, kids and stuff, like to go around these haunted places and pretend. So I'm assuming that we are just like a military part group that were sent here just to not clean up, just to fix the issues that was going on around these areas here. Can we go up here? I'm not sure, I don't want to get stuck. As you progress, you can see generators laying around, so there is a lot of exploration happened here during the time that we didn't know about. And as like we move on, we understand more and more to the story where people are just sent here to explore, and many military groups were sent here to explore this greediness and this ugliness of this disaster that happened. Let's jump down here. So we understand like the basic lore of it. Well, what is the group's point and what is their target? This is one of the like there are so many radios in here that will explain like the greedy aspect of why they want to do this to the people. As I said, like the point of this experiments were literally just create super mummified human versions of soldiers to ensure that they can wield the Cold War, ensure that they can do everything correctly, ensure that everything is running perfectly. But it ended up being a failed task because when they notice that they're acting erratically, unbehavable, and basically just crawling through people's brains. You see that chaotic sprint. You can tell they were acting erratically from their experiment, and it's so difficult to pinpoint what is the exact operation of this. Sadly, we died. We had 3 minutes of runtime, but I will explain more as like we go on like single player and stuff, and just have fun with the game basically. So short-term story is basically they were testing on people, and task has failed miserably, which led to this entire outbreak happening, and people from all like especially teenagers who were just rushing into this asylum were actually being killed and eaten alive, which they send a task force to check out what is this issue, who's cannibal, or anything at this point because it's in the hands of the government. So this is the entire summarize. People were getting killed because of this failed experiment. Experiment was done in like the early 50s, during the Cold War, from early 50s to early 70s, we can assume, because that's when the time that the period where people were testing on anything, to be honest, and especially like the mental ill people. So this led to a huge compilation of weird disasters, fucked up disasters, like for example the Chernobyl disaster, which happened because of the failed safety protocol. So we can put this one between the time range depending on like the build of the house of the asylum itself. We can say it's built around 1940s after the World War II because of the virals and everything else. But moral of the story is it was basically a failed experiment that happened in asylum on mentally ill patients, as in we're gonna help you fix these patients, but instead they managed to create a cannibaloid version of them, which allowed them to be erratic, uncontrollable, and unbehaved in a safe environment. The rounds that you progress through, that you heard the sirens are, basically are the doors being open for the mentally ill, and the more captive they held because they were creating a safe environment. So there is a lot of people who were like, okay, I have this son, I need to help him out, I need to find a better cure for him, so they send him there. So if assuming every round is basically when you hear the siren, is just them having a safe protocol of releasing them each time by groups. So each cell had maybe 10 to 20 groups. So that's why each round you just hear that siren because that is being released from their own cage and pushing you guys, where you are basically the soldier who's been sent by the government to clean up their own mistake, which landed to be a big issue for all of us. And that is like the summarize I can give it to the story. I know I sound a little bit unsure and unconfident about this because I'm literally waiting for the community and I'm speaking, trying to, oh, like basically trying to talk to the community and let's see if we can create a Reddit for it and just like find more lores and more ideas, more big brain ideas about this story and this Easter egg that this game has, especially on zombies, because it's so weird to have like this type of game with literally just zombie mechanics. Especially they're not zombies, they're actually just real life humans who are sadly been tested on, and we can say it's basically a mentally ill person who's been tested on an experiment that was failed and made them erotic and start killing people. So I'm hoping the community will actually work on this. Just work all of us on run the entire radio and decipher most of the codes because some radios have actual codes in them. And sometimes just new ambience, so maybe the new ambience have something very in common, which is a Morse code type to it. So I'm hoping the community will actually do something good about this and find a lot of hidden details as well. And that's it. That is the so far what we know about the asylum map and Bodycam. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. As in, I'm gonna be watching the community to discover more about this hidden asylum map, and hopefully we get more zombies content. I mean, sadly, it's not just zombies. It's just people who are getting erotic by this truth syrup or what they're creating, because it is if you think about it, guys. Like, people are being experimented with the benefit of the government and managed to fail. So I'm hoping we can see more content and more explanatory situation on this, and as well, like one of the main issues I think we're gonna be facing, because obviously you see Bodycam is basically like paramilitary fighting against each other. So what if there is a different group that is actually gonna be capturing the syrup and trying to release it as a terrorized situation. As we know, Bodycam is basically like we got the bomb mode where basically you got two factions fighting for each other, and what we learned from another game about that, which basically I'm gonna be saying this is very funny about saying it, but it's not close to compare what I'm gonna say. But like CSGO for example, where you got Ts and CTs. So here we got two paramilitary groups fighting for technically a bomb if we play like the bomb mode. But if you think about it, maybe implemented more into this lore of zombies, because this type of zombies will actually find the truth syrup and try to have doctors or scientists trying to recreate this in order for it to actually just be a deadly release to the world and trying to manipulate the government for money and their own benefits. So maybe we're gonna be seeing more of that too. I'm assuming, because according to one of the records that I heard in the game, it's basically when the guy revisited the place and it was like so dead silent, and you can hear noises that are faded and away and screams of these mentally ill patients, which created a lot of distraction and fear into him, and it was like, what is going on? I need to report this, I need to record it, I need to make sure my voice is being heard, so when I get back to the city, telling the people what is going on, what the government is taking on, they should understand and gather more evidence, basically. And that is what I think about it. As I said, please leave a like and subscribe, because there's gonna be more exploring this weird ass environment of Bodycam Zombies. As I'm gonna be digging through the community and making sure me and the community are trying to find what is the lore behind it and trying to find the best alternative solution for this lore. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, I know we played zombies for 9 minutes. This explains a lot. I mean, for the faction things, and the reason I said factions, because you got the Russian guns, you got the American guns, you got different guns here, and there's a lot of different military version of guns. So when they added the new shop, this is why I said a lot of factions. Because when you go to shop, you got Oscar, Hotel, Dust, Whiskey, and like you look at them, basically they are factions. Like, are we in a post-apocalyptic world that people are fighting each other, or are there just paramilitary groups trying to blend in? If you look at the Halloween skin, we got Yankee, which is the terrorist group, Oscar, which is an American CIA group, and we got Jest, who is basically a mummified version of a zombie, but as we said, there is no zombies in Bodycam because technically they're just people who are experimenting. So I'm assuming between these two skins, we got the terrorist group and the CIA are fighting to control this environment, not just to let it spread out. But the terrorist side of the game is just like, we want this to spread. We want to have control. We will threaten every country. So this is basically what we're hinting. This is like what we know so far. So we're hoping that everything will be revealed soon and we get more information about it so we can give you the better information about this entire uh, bodycam lore that we have. Thank you very much for watching.